We'll do it live.
Live. So no swearing. Okay. Let's see how that's working.
Does it sound the same as?
Yeah, it does. I can see
Scoot a
everyone
little
up here.
closer, and I've got my mic is pretty
loud.
Where am I?
Okay.
That's not me.
Are you number 3?
It's not me. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was.
Oh, sorry.
Well, in the end, yeah. I like hearing myself loudly, but not when my ears pop.
No,
Is mine too low?
you're too low. Yeah, actually, you're
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Try again.
Are we now?
Oh, you got the.
I know.
Is that one?
Actually, yeah. Let's. Oh, that's you're number 4.
There's all kinds of taped up.
Yeah. Let's. I know. Let's try it this way. Okay, go ahead.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit better.
A little better. Okay, that's number 2.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. You guys are ready?
What do we want to talk about? I want to do work with Aaron first few segments.
Yeah.
Do health related.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Fair warning, I will not have a clue what you guys are talking about as soon as
That's
you
okay.
get that.
That's all right.
So if I look like I'm dead faced.
Let me just I gotta
It's
tell
all right,
Sarah
you
something
know,
here.
you know. Yeah, usually we have guests on, and if it's a call in, we'll keep them on for the first couple of segments, and then we'll say, "And thank you very much, goodbye," and then we'll continue on with our foolishness.
Yeah, I can't use names.
No.
I'm not allowed to throw out names of companies or people or anything.
No.
So.
Well, you could. I don't care.
I mean, but
no,
they may not.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compliance at the fund would not be happy with.
Correct.
You've got his intro and all that good stuff. Right?
Yeah, just say his strength training coach. Yeah. Then I'll say, how does it relate to business?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, what are the times?
Oh, 7:10.
Just for me.
Yeah.
7:10,
8:28.
8:28.
9:10. 9:17. And 5:10.
All right. Cool.
All right. Let's see. Okay, and away we go. Well, welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate given away during the show. That certificate is not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. Today's trivia theme is movies with the word first in the title. I think that's fun.
That sounds fun.
We do have a special guest, Aaron Lautman, who is a strength training coach, and he appeared on our sports show, and now he's appearing on our business show. And Aaron, tell us how does strength training, this is a business show,
Yes.
so related to business, how do you get in there?
Okay,
business?
so originally growing up, next slide. So originally moving to San Francisco. First gym I had was downtown in the Charles Schwab building, and it kind of got me acclimated to the business world.
Good.
The gym was a full gym, everything from your class to we had a nutritionist in there, and then personal trainers. All independent personal trainers can come and train their clients. So
Now that was actual gym.
that was a gym. That was my first kind of step into the strength training gym corporate world. And so we had BlackRock coming in and those kind of companies, or the surrounding area downtown San Francisco.
Now these would be just employees of the companies coming in just to working out.
Yes.
Okay.
They would come in and they would either just use the gym themselves as a membership. They would take the classes that we had and everything from spin to boot camps to capoeira, which is that Brazilian dance thing. We had a nutritionist.
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah.
Capoeira, yeah.
Is it Weda? Okay.
I think it's capoeira. Maybe it's capoeira.
Yeah, capoeira. Yeah, it's a Brazilian dance martial arts type thing.
The wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Something like that.
And that kind of transitioned me into comfort in the corporate world and get a better idea of what these companies, employees needed.
But it wasn't structured at the time. These were guys just, like, hey, I got an hour. I'm just going to go work out.
Absolutely, because we rented the space from Charles Schwab, so we were in their building, and then we would make a deal with them that would say, your employees come down, we give them a discount,
Gotcha.
and they would have kind of free reign of whatever they really would like to do in that space.
And I can approach this from a business point of view. So everybody listening to this show has an issue with fitness, and we all have fitness goals. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that most of us don't achieve the goals we set for ourselves in fitness. Now, especially, I think, those of us who are entrepreneurs like myself. I own a business. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always trying to figure out how to make more money, grow the business, all these different ways to create new income streams. And but I have had a gym membership for 20 years, but until I actually signed up with a personal trainer, my gym activity was I'd maybe go in once a week or maybe every other week. I'd shame myself to go in, and then I'd stare at all of the equipment there, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a routine, so I started working with a personal trainer. I work out twice a week. Then I started working with a chiropractor for flexibility, and you really got to be intentional with your health. It's so easy for me as an entrepreneur to say, you know what, I'll just wait until I make, we were saying this off the air, we were joking about it, I'll just wait till I make 10 million bucks and then I'll get in shape. But life doesn't work that way, does it?
No, it doesn't. And so a transition later, so years gone by, I meet a couple people, and one thing leads to another, and I start working with a hedge fund in San Francisco. And it originally started out, I worked with a couple of the partners. And from there, it grew to, okay, I'm working with the partners every day, and they have a block for 2 hours. And now all of a sudden, associates and some other people are allowed to come down and work with me in that 2-hour block. So now we have partners and associates. Then it turned into 4 hours a day, every day.
Wow.
And so they wanted some of the administration and other parts of the company to have access to the workouts, because everything was getting healthier in the office. Camaraderie, team building. It gave a really good platform that was, it wasn't a boardroom, bounce ideas off of each other in a safer way.
Have a level playing field.
Level playing field. And so you have anywhere from the portfolio manager to an intern working out in the same space, and it humanized everybody. So
I got a funny story about that, and I think I told you this once before. So we had a company softball game when I was my first job out of college. Here I am, 22 years old, and as an accountant, right? And I was like, I don't know, I hit a home run, okay? But the thing is, it was really getting kind of close to getting tagged out at home. So I come barreling in, and one of the partners is blocking the plate, and I knocked him over.
So you just ran right through.
I ran right through, and the tax manager looks at me. I mean, this poor guy, he's about 30 years older than I am. He's laid out, and the tax manager comes over to me and goes, Edward, that's not going to be good for your career. And about 11 months later, I was gone when he came to.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll tell you what, I know the first segment went kind of fast. We're going to cut to our first commercial break here. We're in the studio with Aaron Lautman, who is that how you pronounce that right? Lautman? Okay.
Lautman, yeah.
So you figured the capoeira, the Lautman.
Yeah.
Okay, who is a strength training coach. All right, first trivia question is trying to, and again, this is the word first is in the movie title. You guys will know this one. Trying to visit an old war buddy in a small town, John Rambo is arrested for vagrancy by the local sheriff. He escapes and mounts a one-man offensive until his former commander is called on to help bring him in. What was the name of this movie with the word first in it? All right. Call 888-912-1190 to answer that question. If you're the first caller with the correct answer, you're going to win that free tanning certificate, which is worth over $100. All right, don't touch that dial. You know what's coming. The best of investing. We'll be right back. All right. That's our first segment, though.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any deals with companies where you're working with people in the company, or like have they hired you to help with health and wellness for a company or a business? Is that anything you're doing actively now? I'm just
Yes.
asking. I don't know.
So with this fund, that's what every day I'm with them. Every day I'm with them. I'm with them from 10 to 12, and then 4 to 6 every day
With
this hedge fund. So anybody,
a hedge fund. Is it in San Francisco?
Anybody in that hedge fund can come down and work out with me. Anybody that's employed can come down and work out with me from 10 to 12, 4 to 6.
So they're a hedge fund company.
They're a hedge fund.
Okay. All right.
And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I also have a 6 to 8 a.m. block.
Okay.
And I do all of their nutrition. I write them up meal plans, and we'll talk about how I write travel programs. So they'll send me I'm going to be at this Four Seasons, and it has cables, and it has some dumbbells, and it has some treadmills. Can you write me up like a quick 30-minute program? I can knock it out before I go to my business meeting or my board meeting, because then I'm going to be sitting on a plane again for another 12 hours.
Okay. Good.
I'll let you feed.
All right. Yeah. Let's repeat some of that then. The next one actually sounds good.
Okay.
So I'll ask the same question.
All right. Next segment, 828. Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn, president of Pacific Private Money. Hey, we missed you the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Except for when you did the golf tournament, you rascal with the Raiderettes.
I got to interview the Raiderettes. That was
That
fun.
was awesome.
That must have been tough.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to concentrate on radio.
Hard work.
All right, here's our first trivia question. Trying to visit an old war buddy in a small town, John Rambo is arrested for vagrancy by the local sheriff. He escapes and mounts a one-man offensive until his former commander is called on to help bring him in. What's the name of this movie with the word first in it?
First blood.
That's right.
He drew first blood.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the quote.
That's right. Exactly. I like that when the commander says, listen, I'm not here to save him from you. I'm here to save you from him. All right.
So we're talking a little bit of health and wellness here. And Aaron, off the air, I asked you a question and you answered it. And I wanted you to talk about it a little bit on the air. So you actually do still today, you work with companies. We're here in the Bay Area. You work with a company in San Francisco where you're working with a number of the I guess the owners of the company and the employees with their health and wellness programs. Expand on that a little bit.
Yes. So the company has me come in every single day, 2-hour blocks, afternoons, and then evenings, and then also twice a week in the mornings. And anybody from that company, from the founder to reception, can come down and do the workouts, and they're tailored to each person. So you might have somebody that's a college athlete, former college athlete, is well versed in the gym. I'll put a different workout together for them than the person that's just had a child and just trying to recover from giving birth and hasn't been in the gym for years. And so everything's tailored. Along with that, it's grown to where I actually now write nutrition programs for them. I write snack menus and smoothie menus, and I help with getting their kitchen with the healthiest milks and coffees and all those kind of things.
So not only do you have like this, you offer a service that becomes a perk for the company to offer its employees, but you're doing that and more. You're being a consultant to them for their overall health and wellness.
Yes, everything from travel workout programs. They travel a ton for their job, and they'll be 12-hour flight to London. They have to turn around in 2 days. They'll send me pictures of the hotel gym, and they'll say, hey, this is what we have in the gym. Some dumbbells, some treadmills. Can you throw me together?
Because some of them don't have very good gyms, some of these places. Some of obviously the nice ones do. I figured out how you actually make a lot more money is if on the nutrition program you prescribe double portions of bacon. You get a lot of CEO. Mark and I love bacon. So
yeah, delicious.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome. So have you thought about expanding this company of yours to maybe make this offer to other companies because you've got a great example of how you've taken this particular company in San Francisco and created this great benefit that the company can employees.
Yes, I think the hardest thing is to scale it to different companies. This is a company with 40 to 50 employees, and they have the funds to pay for everybody's food and to pay for a trainer and to really like delve into the health and wellness. To scale to a much larger company,
You have to hire more.
You have to hire more people. It can't just be one strength coach, one nutritionist. You have to kind of have a gym that's big enough. You have to have a staff that's big enough to really be able to work with everybody. And then you're talking about a lot more people with a lot more issues and a lot more traveling, and a lot more. It's harder to get personal when you start building out.
It'd be kind of tough because you have to find someone with skills that kind of count yours. That's gonna be kind of tough.
Sure, I'm sure it's not impossible, but definitely doable. I think the thing is to have in a perfect world, all the companies would be able to provide that. They'd have an on-site gym.
Yeah.
They'd have a kitchen that is well stocked that the employees could just go to and say, wow, this is a snack menu. I don't know what I'm going to eat, but okay, I'm going to throw together some cucumber plates with some cream cheese and salmon.
I would think that.
Nice.
Right. No, but I could see that a lot of companies would appreciate, or a lot of employees would appreciate working for a company that provides that kind of service.
Absolutely.
It's sort of like some of these really big companies like Facebook and all that. They have, transportation, a big bus that comes pick them up, and all these kind of perks would help. What do you get? What do you charge a company to do what you're doing?
It's hourly. It's hourly. So as the hours have built, the income has grown. The hourly wages are $150 an hour for the training. I love nutrition. I'm a nutritionist. That kind of stuff I just do for them. I think.
Gotcha. And do you do maybe some like classes so that you maybe or you maybe have like say 3 people kind of rotating on certain exercise?
Oh, there are days, there are hours where we'll have 15 people from the company down in the gym, and it is a blast. It is a blast because you're going to have 15, everybody from compliance to, to legal to finance, and everybody's in there, and they're all crushing this workout.
And how competitive do they get between them?
And it's fun because it's a friendly competition.
Okay.
It's really fun. You'll have we set up these certain things. We call them gassers, or do as many as you can in the 10 minutes. And it'll be squats and row machine and wall ball. You're throwing the medicine ball up against the wall, and you'll have a manager is going against an analyst is going against a receptionist, and they're banging out these workouts.
And you gotta have a shower there.
They have showers. It's a full gym. I
remember there was a place down here not too far from my office, and it was kind of a neat circuit training type thing.
Yeah.
But when I checked it out, I said, well, where do I take a shower? And they go, well, we don't have a shower, so you have to go home. And I was like, you know what? I go, this isn't going to last. And I think in 6 months they were out of business.
One of the keys for me that I've always found in doing these workouts is that I appreciate when my trainer just mixes it up. I have no idea what we're going to do. He always comes up with these variations on exercises that I haven't done before. Okay, well now you're going to do it on this bouncy ball thing here, and you're going to go back and forth in a pike position, and you stand on your head. It's like it's awesome, and you get your heart rate up, and you keep it new and keep it exciting, because that's one of the things that makes it hard to go to the gym all the time, is do the same thing over and over again.
Absolutely, we set up the 3 to 4 months. We'll change it up, and in those weeks. Monday's a strength day. Tuesday's balance stability, working with stability balls and TRX suspension things, and just having people flopping all over the place.
And you also have to trick your muscles too.
Right.
Say, aha, today's not Monday, it's really Wednesday.
Yeah, muscle confusion.
Exactly. Okay, here we're gonna go to our second trivia question here. In this 2004 movie, Henry, played by Adam Sandler, falls in love with a woman named Lucy. Lucy suffers from short-term memory loss and never remembers meeting him, so Henry must woo her again and again. What is the name of this movie? It's got the name first in it, all right? Both the guys' heads go up and down. They know the answer to this trivia question. All right, when we come back, first of all, call 888-912-1190 to answer that question. When we come back, we're going to go right back with Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, talking about real estate. Don't touch that dial. Don't you do it. Don't touch that dial.
Don't do it.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing. There are plenty of
Yeah.
plenty of people like, why don't you do this with so many companies? And it's like this was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
You know, there's 50 people, or there's 35 different people that come down, and I think there's 40 people in the company. They have an on-site gym with showers.
Perfect.
There's a cafeteria right above the gym. You know, it's a hedge fund, so they have more than enough money to, you know, to pay for me every day and expand the hours. And
Yeah. No, it's a great gig. I just, you know, I always think about, okay, well, how could you make a business out of this? So you'd have to find people like you that are smart. They're good personal trainers. They know about nutrition. You know, guys like Tim Schmidt, who's been my guy, and they've got, you know, it's Body Kinetics up in Nevada, nothing special, but they've got like 8 or 10 people there, and they've got a couple of places throughout Marin. But and some guys that are there as trainers are better than others. And I've actually, you know, when Tim goes on vacation, I try some of the other guys, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's an interesting way of doing it. But it's but if you could get a group of people, you know, I could think of a lot of ways where you could scale that into a business, but it is one where they're really, you know, they're renting you and your expertise.
Right.
That's hard to scale.
I think if there was a, like, probably you guys have a firm, a lending company.
Yeah.
Right. So would the company be willing to invest in their employees?
Right.
Right. So
Exactly.
would you guys be willing to take part of your budget and say, you know what, I think this is going to be huge for team building. I think this is going to be huge for camaraderie. This is going to be, you know, very much appreciated by everybody. It will lower our health costs. So we're gonna, and it doesn't have to be, you know, 24 hours a week. But
Well, no, but have you heard of the gym guys?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's actually a van, a big van
Okay.
that has all of the equipment.
They pull up.
And they come up to your
Park
house
it
or
up.
your
Oh,
office,
that's funny.
and because a lot of people, you know, don't. I mean, how many people work at a company where there's a gym and a cafeteria right there, and so they come right to your.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of a neat way to. And you know, I don't know how much strength training it is versus just various workouts, but
Right.
the idea is to bring the gym to you rather than have to.
Of course.
Yeah.
So in this next segment, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming money show.
Oh yeah.
Where
Okay.
we're going to be at, and that's Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, Friday,
It's Friday,
Friday.
Saturday, right? It's Thursday
Actually, it's-
afternoon, Friday, Saturday. I know Nom said he's going to set up the booth Thursday afternoon, because I thought it was Thursday, Friday. Now I guess it's Friday,
No, hold on.
Saturday.
No, it's it is Thursday.
So we're going down Thursday to do something. Maybe it's the cocktail reception or something.
I actually had it as the whole. Hold on.
Well, it's all right. Well, I'll just say it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay. Well, hold on. Just give me 2 seconds here because I actually
even
have
know
it
where it
right
is?
here. Yeah, I think it's at the Hilton. The 23rd to the 25th, which means it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. At the Hilton, San Francisco Union Square,
Union Square.
and it's free to.
It is
I think it's free to
show up.
to show up, and that's why they're going to get thousands of people.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, and just, you know, if you have a question or you want to chime in,
Sure.
feel free. You know, if you want to.
Just don't make it a stupid question. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a terrible question.
That's
Trying to throw you off.
okay.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn, president of Pacific Private Money. Second trivia question. In the 2004 movie, Henry, Adam Sandler, falls in love with a woman named Lucy. Lucy suffers from short-term memory loss and never remembers meeting him, so Henry must woo her again and again. What's the name of this movie?
You want to take this or should I?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
50 First Dates.
50 First Dates. Very good.
That's a great movie.
It is a
I saw it a whole
movie.
bunch of times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you kept forgetting that you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yes.
so Mark, tell us about something called The Money Show.
Right. The Money Show is coming to San Francisco. Every year in August, the Money Show is in San Francisco. It's a 3-day event where companies, well, like Pacific Private Money, will be there to educate the public, retail investors like you folks out there listening in on the show. You know, giving you some of the, you know, latest strategies for, you know, earning yields on your retirement, how to squirrel your money away for retirement. There's actually quite a few different speakers and venues. It's actually pretty huge. This is the first time we've been there. They've been inviting us every year for the last several years, but finally we decided, you know what, we put a booth together. We've been showing off at a number of venues in the last this past year. So we're going to go to the Money Show. It's at Hilton Union Square on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And on Saturday, we're doing 2 presentations about alternative investments, because what we offer at Pacific Private Money, for those of you who've listened a while, you know this, we offer what are known as alternative investments. It's alternative to stocks and bonds, and it's a way to earn higher yields on your money. So that's the Money Show, and it should be pretty exciting. And there's they've got all kinds of new topics. Of course, they'll be talking about cryptocurrencies. Of course, they'll be talking about cannabis, and of course, they'll be talking about some of these newfangled companies, many of whom have started up and are thriving in San Francisco. San Francisco and Silicon Valley are home base for a lot of the new investment opportunities. Fintech, as it's called. Marketplace lenders is another word for websites that you can go to and invest your funds. Sometimes, as small as $5,000, you can invest in some of these alternative platforms that promise to pay you yields anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10, sometimes even 12, 14%. Of course, buyer beware. You got to look into those things.
Sure.
And while we're talking about the Money Show and alternative investments, I brought something here that actually it's just some notes from a presentation that Edward and I are going to do at the Money Show on Saturday, and that is,
which, by the way, if I can interrupt for a second, if I understand it, there's no cost to.
Oh, it's free. Yes,
it's free, and then that's why they
attend.
get like I was there, gosh, over 15 years ago, and there were almost 5,000 people. That's why they're holding it at such a big venue. It was at Moscone, but this time it's at the Hilton.
So is it just for regular people can go there and learn about?
Yes,
all different kinds of investments.
Yeah, it's
And because it's free, that's why you get thousands of people.
But you have thousands, yeah.
Well, and so talking about, I've got a list here of what are common alternative investments, because a lot of people will, ask us all the time, what exactly is an alternative investment? Well, the term alternative really is broadly speaking, it's alternative to stocks and bonds, and those typically, traded over the counter, readily liquid, T-bills, CDs, that type of stuff, which, as we all know, over the last 10 years in this low interest rate environment, have not really paid very high yields. And now the stock market, of course, we know the stock market has done great since the low in right around 2009. Yeah, I mean it's gone up dramatically. But the last couple of years it's been up and down. It's been up and down. And in fact, the last year over year we haven't had tremendous gains in the stock market. It seems to be stuck at that ceiling of around 25,000. Hasn't been able to break 26 yet. And so, but common alternative investments include things like the types of investments that only the uber rich are really investing in. Those would be things like private equity funds, hedge funds, or venture capital. What are the difference between those? Well, private equity funds are typically funds that buy companies. Hedge funds are companies that typically invest in all kinds of really interesting, highly leveraged type of investments that can have huge payouts, and of course they can explode just as easily. We've seen some stories in the paper recently about hedge funds that have gone south. Venture capital is generally for startups, if you want to invest a portion of your savings into startup companies. But even then, that's usually for those people who have already, hit their home run or their grand slam, and they've got hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're investing it in other startups. Other types of alternative investments would include some of the newer stuff that we just talked about, cryptocurrencies, which many people think is really more gambling than investing. And I wouldn't disagree with those who say it's gambling, not investing. Cannabis, the jury's still out. California has really not experienced the kind of renaissance boom that everyone thought was going to happen in 2018 in cannabis. So there's really you got to be careful with investing in that. But there's cannabis cryptocurrencies, and there's cannabis funds, and there's cannabis real estate activities. There's a lot of ways you can invest in that. So you might want to learn more about it if you're interested in that. Another one that I think you want to watch out for and be careful of is there's a lot of unsecured consumer debt opportunities to invest in. Like, for example, well, I'll just name the company because they're the biggest one in the world, Lending Club. And we all, those of you who've read about Lending Club over the last couple of years will know that they came out of the starting gate really popular. Oh, wow, you can get 8 to 10% on your money by investing in these unsecured consumer notes. Well, they're unsecured consumer notes. And guess what consumers tend to do on unsecured notes that they borrow easily over the internet? They tend not to pay them, and so there's been a lot of defaults in some of those. So you got to be careful about unsecured stuff. And then the next kind of class of alternative investments would be things like real assets, like real estate or gold or jewelry or art or automobiles or coins, things that have that you can actually hold or look at or kick. Secured debt. That's where Pacific Private Money plays. We play in the strategy of investing people's capital in pooled mortgage funds and trust deed secured notes. These are companies
real estate.
So you're
not secured against like a piece of equipment,
right?
But real estate.
Well, and again, some of these alternative investment strategies, you could invest in auto loans, you could invest in equipment leases, you could invest in payday loans. So there's a lot of or receivables. So again, you got to be careful when you look at alternative investments because some of them will lead to you 14% or 18% or 20%.
Well, I can just imagine, so you don't get paid on an auto loan, and you're chasing after the guy. You owe me, and he drives away in the asset.
Yeah. What about things like peer-to-peer or like the third-party real estate kind of platforms?
So peer-to-peer is something that you also need to be careful with because peer-to-peer lending or investing in real estate notes on a platform, those aren't necessarily the same as a mortgage investment or a trust deed. And when we get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some of these peer-to-peer investing platforms and why you need to be wary and ask a lot of good questions.
Yeah, because it is a very good question, and I know he's going to have a very good answer to that. All right, last trivia question on movies with the word first in it. Evicted by farmers from his Transylvania home, Count Dracula, played by George Hamilton, along with his assistant, Mr. Renfield, travel to New York to find a bride. The boyfriend of the woman he chooses tries in vain to make the Count go away. See if you know the answer to this trivia question. Again, it's got the word first in it. Do you know this one, Mark?
No.
No? Okay. And when I mention the name of the movie, you'll go, oh, yeah, I think I've heard that name, but that you may not know what it is.
You had to try to stump me.
Yeah, of course.
2 out of 3.
That's 2 out of 3. I can't let you get 3 out of 3. No, can't do it.
Excellent.
All right, call 888-912-1190. Don't touch that dial. We come back. Mark's going to explain about peer-to-peer lending and how one needs to be careful of that. We'll be right back. All right. Good segment. That was number 3.
I was reading about this third-party real estate platforms that you can
where you can buy shares of real estate
Oh,
and shares of real estate notes.
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah, Realty Shares is one that does
yeah.
the shares.
It's almost like buying a REIT in a way. It's not that much different from that.
Yeah, my parents were doing peer-to-peer when I went to high school in the Dominican Republic, and the returns on that were huge.
Yeah.
And
Was it real estate in Dominican?
yes,
Oh.
yeah. So
Wow.
so things out in by the beaches, and new developments with clubs and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
If it goes great when it goes great,
Right.
and then you roll it into their next project and it blows up.
Yeah.
It's just it's funny that way. I mean, even my dad, who was a real estate developer, it's like he did a syndication where he paid back 250% of the investment over a 2-year period, which was great. I mean, what a great return that was. And then the next one, everybody lost money. So it's like,
Right.
You average it out and you go, we're off doing something else.
hey, Horst, why didn't you find another one of those 250 ones? I like that. Well,
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, you think I want to lose money?
Yeah, all right.
All right, here we go. Well, welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Humph. Trivia question number 3. Evicted by farmers from his Transylvanian home, Count Dracula, played by George Hamilton, along with his assistant, Mr. Renfield, traveled to New York to find a bride. The boyfriend of the woman he chooses tries in vain to make the Count go away. What's the name of this movie?
Well, the answer to the first one was First Blood. So maybe the answer to the third one also.
I can't have the same answer. Love at First Bite.
Love at first
Love at First
bite.
Bite. Yeah. I think it was a comedy. Okay. So, Mark, answer the question if you would.
So Aaron asked me a question about what about peer-to-peer lending, and just kind of to clarify, peer-to-peer lending, when it first came out and was called that about 4 or 5 years ago, they've since kind of come up with probably a little bit more user-friendly name for it. They tend to call it now marketplace lending, but it's still the same thing. It's lending via the internet from lender to user through a platform that charges a fee for basically raising that capital. So you can go to these websites and you can invest in real estate. You can invest in real estate notes. But the thing you have to realize is that if you invest in a real estate note, for example, through one of these platforms, it's not necessarily, you have to really read the fine print, it's not necessarily the same thing as a direct note investment where, like what we do with people here in California, when you invest in one of our direct notes, your name's on the note, you get an actual recorded deed of trust with your name on it, and if the borrower stops paying, you can foreclose on that note and own that property. Through many of these platforms that you can invest as little as $5,000 and get a small piece of this, say $100,000 or $500,000 or $1 million note, they call these things in the industry platform notes, meaning you actually don't get a recorded deed of trust. You get a promise to pay by the company that's raising the money and lending it out. So the company it's more like a corporate bond, a promise to pay by that company. You do not have, in most situations, a direct line to foreclose on that property if that borrower stops paying you. So presumably the company will go after the borrower, will foreclose, and then will liquidate the property and then distribute the proceeds to the lenders. But maybe not. I mean, there's no guarantee. That's just it.
How about this? What happened? I don't know the answer to this, but what happens if the borrower continues to pay, but the company says, gee, we have other bills that we're paying with the money?
Well, that's just it. Their business model might fail,
Yeah.
And if they don't get their next round of funding, or if their IPO doesn't happen, I mean, there's a lot of things to be aware of. So again, if you are interested in the alternative opportunity of earning, high single-digit, low double-digit yields by investing in real estate secured notes, basically you're the lender, you're the bank. You really want to make sure that you're either investing in a fund where the fund manager has a good reputation and good deal flow and makes good note decisions, or if you're experienced enough and feel comfortable enough directly investing in notes, you might want to work with a company here in California like Pacific Private Money that will allow you to invest directly into a note where you become the lender, you are the bank. So again, just things to watch out for. And these are the types of things that if you go to the Money Show next Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, again, look them up, the Money Show. You can Google it. They're at Hilton Union Square, and it's free to go there. It'd be worth your while. They'll be talking about a lot of different things, and go there with your hard questions because it's important.
Can I jump in and ask one more question? Okay, so with the cryptocurrency, I've found that there is ways to use it now with online poker and online. So what exactly happens with this cryptocurrency, and why does that way of paying for online poker all of a sudden make it legal in certain places more than? Do you have any idea how that works?
Well, here's the problem with answering that question, Aaron, is that there are literally thousands of different cryptocurrencies, and they all operate a little bit differently. Some are designed to be a currency replacement, some are designed to act like virtual gold, and some are designed actually to do very specific things. So so it's a very broad and very little understood aspect and new aspect of the investment world. And so it depends. So that particular gambling or gaming company accepting certain types of cryptocurrency, they're doing it because of the nature of the privacy and how you can do these things without revealing who you are online. And they don't necessarily have to, they could be offshore, they don't have to report the income. There's all kinds of interesting things that happen in when companies decide, we're going to accept cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange. So again, very, very difficult. And again, going to the money show, you might be able to talk to some people who could probably do a much better job than I just did trying to explain the nuances of how to use cryptocurrency online and elsewhere.
We're just going to call you Blockchain Mark. Okay, so an email comes in, says, this is for Mark. Why do you primarily lend in California when private money interest rates are higher in other states? So why don't you give a little background about
so just to kind of reframe that question for the listeners, that's really an investor question, not a borrower question, because a borrower who's going to an alternative financing source like Pacific Private Money is going there and he's trying to get the lowest rate he can. And in California, we actually have some of the lowest rates in private financing because of the size of the state and all the money that's here that really loves lending in California because they love California real estate as the collateral. And so the competition in California is probably higher than any other state, and competition drives rates down. It's kind of economics 101. Now, if you're an investor in notes, you might be investing in notes in other states, maybe in Texas, maybe in Arizona, maybe in the East Coast, and you're finding that getting 10%, 11%, maybe even 12% on your money is not unusual there. Try getting that in California. It's almost impossible on a first position note to earn more than, say, 8%. That's generally what we end up paying, 8 to 9% on first position notes, maybe 10% on a second position notes, which aren't as popular as first position notes. So the question is why don't we lend in other states if we could get our investors a higher yield by making loans, say, in Texas at 12% instead of California at 9%, where we might pay our investors 8 of that 9? And the answer is we like lending where we know. And we believe that private lending and alternative finance is strongest when it's a local. We like being local. We like understanding the marketplaces, and we're very, very familiar with California. We've got boots on the ground all over California, and we're just comfortable lending here. I'm not as comfortable lending in Texas or Arizona or other states, Idaho, even Washington and Oregon. And some of those states require specific licenses for lending there, and it gets complicated. So the very simple answer is that there's enough business in California with a population of 40 million to do all the lending we could ever want to do and provide great service and strong, well-secured yields to our clients in California without having to go out of state and lend in areas where we just don't know what we're doing.
Well, the whole idea is that, and I've always said this, just don't lose money. So,
well, that's the bottom line in any investment, right? I mean, if I'm lending your money out, or sometimes more specifically, I'm offering you a loan that we're going to originate, we think it's a good loan, we think that the collateral makes sense, and the borrower makes sense, and the story makes sense, and we want you to invest in that note, Mr. Smith. You want to know that A, you're not going to lose your principal, and B, you're going to get the interest rate that you were promised. And so that's the reason why you want to deal. It's always better, I think, to deal with local loan originators in the alternative finance space.
And invest where you know, and
Yes.
make it invest in what you know.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut to our last commercial break. No trivia question. We come back. We're going to have some closing comments. We've got about 5 minutes to go. Don't touch that dial. The Best of Investing will be right back. All right.
Sweet.
All right.
Flies. It flies.
I know.
You gotta,
Fastest hour.
This is very fast. Do you have a deal of the week?
Do I have a deal of the week?
You can even do the PML one that I got smoked on. that I wanted. I'm very upset with Rick. What happened was
I'll compare and contrast 2 different deals that we put on our platform: the office condos and this single-family residence in San Rafael that's a probate.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick was funny. He was, oh man, calls me E sometimes. Because I didn't know you were, looking. I go, well, I wasn't. And then I got paid off on one of the loans. And
Yeah. Didn't know you were liquid and looking.
yeah, you always got to call me.
Thought you weren't getting any love.
Yeah.
Calls you E. That's like Entourage.
Oh, that's right.
The manager, the little guy.
Yeah.
His nickname was E.
At least I'm not Turtle. I don't want to be Turtle.
I don't know. Turtle made millions of dollars on that tequila.
Oh, that
company.
tequila, yeah, and he lost a lot of weight.
Dog.
Yeah. And had a good-looking girlfriend for a while.
That's right, because he made $100 million on tequila or whatever it was.
Yeah. Then he dated Ronda Rousey.
That's right.
Did he really?
She looked good back then. What she looks like now.
I don't know what she looks like now.
Yeah, she was
Now she's like a WWF
She's an all-star wrestler, yeah, or
Yeah.
WWE. I know.
Something
That's a
horrifying.
joke. I know,
Yeah.
it's horrifying.
gotta go where the money is, I guess.
I guess they pay
That's
her
what
well.
this show's about, right?
Well, she could be like The Rock. Maybe she'll be a famous actress in 10 years.
Maybe.
No,
Making
gosh,
20
have
million
you
a
seen
film.
her in movies?
Yeah, she wasn't very good in.
Anything.
Yeah, she was in the. Yeah, she doesn't quite.
She did a cameo in
She was in like the
Entourage.
Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she wasn't very good in that
Oh.
one either.
No.
No, sometimes these guys,
Stick with what you're good at.
That's it. All right, ready? Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt, president of Pacific Private Money. Do you have any deals of the week?
I do. Well, just I want to share a little bit of a story, kind of compare and contrast how we struggle at Pacific Private Money to please our clients and provide them with the kind of notes that we know they like to invest in. But the challenge is that at any alternative finance company like ours, the phone rings and we get a loan pitch, and it comes in usually from a broker or a realtor or mortgage broker or somebody, and they've got a situation, and that situation needs funding, and it doesn't qualify for bank financing for any number of literally hundreds of reasons. And sometimes it's speed, and sometimes it's just because banks don't make these specific types of loans. Two loans that we put on our platform, privatemoneyloans.com this week. One, literally within minutes of getting posting, we got 5 offers, full price offers to invest in this $500,000
Full
note.
price makes it sound like it's on sale.
Yeah. On sale now.
Yeah.
And the other loan we put on, which we also feel very good about, still 24 hours later, we still have gotten 0 offers on that particular loan. And here are the difference of the loans. The loan that was the most popular was a single family residence. It was a probate situation. The woman who lived in the home died, and the estate is cleaning up and selling the home, and they need to refinance the existing debt and borrow some money to fix up the home and put it on the market. It's probably going to be about a 6-month loan, and we'll write it for a year, but it'll probably be 6 months before they fix it up and sell it. Relatively low loan to value based on the expected resale price. I think we calculated about 50 to 55% LTV, and we were offering, I think, 8 to 8.5%.
8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. So, that one went very quickly. It's not owner occupied. No one lives there. It's low LTV. It was Sanderfeld property, and a great place to park your money for a bond-like safety, but much higher than bond-like yield.
Yeah.
Now, and again, that one went literally within minutes, and then we had a whole bunch of other people going, darn, I missed it, including the person I'm looking at across the desk here, Edward.
Which, by the way,
about 5 hours too late, by the way, on that one.
I know. 5 hours. But no, I was 5 minutes, 15 minutes. I woke up, you said you posted too early in the morning. As it turns out, I grew up literally less than 1/10 of a mile away.
Oh, is that right?
That's
So
why
you
I knew
knew the
that-
street and
I
knew
knew
the
the street.
neighborhood.
Do you know
Yeah.
the owner?
No, that one I didn't.
Fortunately,
Because if
that's
you
good.
did, you would have known that maybe she didn't have that much time left.
No.
So the other one is a cash out request by an owner of 2 office condos in a really sharp looking building that's extremely well maintained, newly painted. It's got about 30 units in there. He owns, I think, 6 units in that building, and he's got 2 that are free and clear. And for a business purpose, he needed to pull some money out in order to, and he came to us for a fast loan. And so the challenge with office condos is that even though there are good comps that say, yes, these office condos are worth about, $850,000 a piece, sophisticated lenders and investors in real estate also know that, condominiums in general and office condominiums in particular can be, in terms of valuations, can swing wildly depending on what's happening in the economy. And so the concern among a lot of people is, well, it might be worth that today, and some users might be willing to pay that, but it doesn't really pencil out from an investment standpoint where if you were to buy it and rent it out. So really there's nervousness. So, two different types of real estate collateral, both quality, both business purpose, non-owner occupied loan request, but the nuances were just different, and so that's typical. That's typical what we go through. And anyway, for more information, to learn about how to invest in a mortgage pool fund or in individual notes, give us a call at 415-883-2150 any day of the week, or of course go to our website, pacificprivatemoney.com, and you'll learn more about what we like to call here mortgage investing for yields of 8% or more.
And really quick, thank you, Mark. And really quickly, Aaron, how do people get a hold of you if they're interested in the nutrition
or fitness or any other corporate information? 925-895-6566, or my first and last name is AARONLAUTMAN17@gmail.com.
All right, here's our thoughts for the day. If you don't fight for what you want, don't cry for what you lost. And sometimes you'll never know the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long. Okay. Went over a little bit, but I think because I saved some time.
I know, I forgot that I still had it at 9:16.
I know.
Dang it.
That's right. Not a problem. I'm running this thing for another 5 minutes because of trying to get 56 minutes on here. So
Really?
yeah, I still need to get some expert to tell me how to do captions on YouTube because they stopped them, and also how to do it from mono to stereo. And I can't.
Oh.
Nobody seems to know how to do that.
And
so if there's
where are you
anybody else
posting these?
Well, this is on YouTube.
Okay.
But if I get 56 minutes, between 56 to 59 minutes, I can send it to the TV station.
Oh.
So that's my
Just
objective.
keep looking at it and talking.
Yeah,
Keep it
exactly.
interesting for them. Come on, TV station.
That's right. So let's talk about the 5 C's of credit.
All
What are
right.
the 5 C's? Collateral, character, capital, capacity, and condition. And these are the things that all lenders use when they're looking at a loan request, even whether it's conventional financing, bank financing, or even private financing. It's just that in private financing, we can look at these 5 C's a lot faster.
Yep.
So for most people who lend money, people who like to invest in real estate secured notes, the number 1 C is always collateral.
Right.
They want to look at the quality, the nature and the condition, and the marketability. How marketable is this property? If I have to take it back, do I want to own it? Would I want to own it as a long-term investment, or could I quickly sell it? And so how marketable is it? Character is everything from your credit report, your real estate investing experience, just what's the story of the person who's borrowing the money, and why do they have the kind of character that we can rely on to make the monthly payments. Capital, the 3rd C, how much skin in the game does the borrower have? So usually that would be, if it's a purchase, it's the down payment. We like a 30% down. Banks will do 20% down. In private capital, we're more conservative. We typically require 30, sometimes 35 or 40% down to make the loan. On a refinance, we'll look at, hey, are they treating this property like an ATM? When was the last time they pulled money out? So we don't like to make a loan on the property that greatly exceeds the amount of money they have in that property. In the game. Capacity is basically, what's their ability to repay? Do they have income? Do they have the income? And that's actually more important today. Yeah,
Right.
that's, do they have the ability to make the monthly payments? And the condition, last C, condition, that one is kind of that one's the least obvious. What's the purpose of the loan? What are the local economic conditions? And what's the exit strategy? How's the guy going to pay you off?
Right.
So, those are your 5 C's: collateral, character, capital, capacity, condition. These are the 5 things that we look at whenever we get a loan request. and sometimes a really strong C will make up for a couple of weak Cs.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. So a weak
So banks
C.
aren't just looking at credit score.
Yeah,
No.
well, the banks are. We're
You
not.
guys are not.
We're not. Private capital.
So
doesn't
private
just look,
capital
yeah.
is that's the 5 Cs.
Yeah. Well, this is
Banks
the 5 Cs are for all lending. This is actually, I got
Okay.
this off a website from a bank.
Oh,
This
okay.
is actually a commercial bank that uses the 5 Cs of collateral, character, capital, capacity, and condition to make lending decisions. But their 5 Cs are, they want to see strength in all 5 Cs, where we'll go,
Right.
if we really, really like the collateral and it's a relatively conservative LTV, like 50%, the guy might have the worst credit score in the universe. We may not care. Hey, we'll make him that loan, and if he hiccups, we don't care because we'll just file.
Yeah, we're not
We'll
scared
just-
to take over
Yeah,
the
we're
property.
not scared to take over the property.
Right.
So
This the articles finally.
yeah, I will.
Linda, yeah, she finally
published your article.
Well, she already published it, but it was online. So now I finally have this.
Ah,
You're going to bring your books to.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
And then maybe I'll
In our
bring this.
newsletters.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I was reading good old George Blackburn, who said, keep sending out lots of newsletters and make yourself personable, and
Yeah, he wrote the book on how to be personable, and he still sends out the same newsletter that by email that he used to send out by mail 20
Yes.
years ago
Uh-huh.
before email.
I
And,
remember.
the same old tired jokes and
yeah. So and he's gotten a little raunchy on a couple of them.
Oh, has he really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
which I'm
didn't-
a little surprised
I
at.
haven't read
but,
the last few, but yeah.
right.
Well, they call that today when you create content. It's called thought leadership, and I've heard it said many times that thought leadership is the holy grail for capital raising.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
people
actually
like
the holy
you
grail
and-
for all business. It really is, but
Adios.
in the capital raising